Hello, welcome to new unboxing. Today will be a car, RC model, the so-called RC Clean reference as for WLtoys as the K959. Okay, so this is a two-wheel driven model, so with the rear traction, and well, it's a 1/12 scale format, so start to be a big models, and it came into a kind of orange color, main dominant color, and is working of course in 2.4 gigahertz for the frequency, radio frequency, and it's indicated to reach the top speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Okay, we will see what we'll find in this box. And first of all, here is the car. The very beautiful car, very nice design, orange, and immediately I will say that this model is nothing else than a very tiny evolution, new revision of the WLtoys L959. You will recognize immediately all the chassis element of this car, sold now maybe close to 2 years ago, and well, you will find most the same ingredients. So I will look into details in this car in a few moments. What also you will find the remote, so exactly the same remote of WLtoys for cars and boat. So it's a nice remote. What I like, the wheels, the spring are strong enough, and you have some digital trimming button here for steering and throttle. You will need up to 4 AA batteries to feed the transmitter. Okay, a large power button there. Well, you can grab it easily, and this is a fake antenna. In generally, the protocol used is a V2X2 protocol, if I'm not wrong. I will check this fact, but it used to be like this for the L959. I don't see any reason that they change the protocol. So, well, the radio range is assumed to be at least 100 meters. There is no problem about the range. Or eventually you can mode your remote to install a RP-CMA connector to extend your range in case if you want to, why not, to play FPV with this car. So what also you will find the LiPo battery, or one of the first change versus the former model. This is still a 2S LiPo, but they changed the type of connector. Before it was a simple GST, now it's a TDIN connector, so I think it's better. The wire gauge is larger, so it's better. It's 1500 milliamps hours LiPo, no discharge rate indicated. I guess it's something close to 20 C. Okay, came with the charger. Okay, so the charger module as well the power unit. Okay, so you have to charge with the balancer plug. It takes approximately 1 hour and a half to charge it. Well, I strongly advise if you stay in this hobby to buy a real charger, more professional, to balance more correctly this type of LiPo. When you start to have 2S LiPo and above, you need to balance your LiPo properly in order to save and extend their durability. What also you will find an instruction manual. So is more or less the same that the L959. We will recognize the same time of manual, same time of this kid appearing in this in the description. But you will find very nice split diagrams of the gearbox, etc., etc. So it's very useful for the maintenance. But it's more or less the same than the L959. Okay, only some basic element of the cockpit or the front bump are different. Anyway, at the end you will find a list of spare parts. So the good news that most of them are already available because they are the same that the L959. That's a good point. Only the chassis and very few of them are different, and maybe there will be a pro version of this one, a brushless editions. Okay, and well, I will pay attention that on this model, on the 444, because there are still some oil bearings installed in this machine. So finally we'll find some crosshair driver in order to remove the M4 screws, X screws, if I'm not wrong, it's a M4 format. Okay, it's a plastic one, prefer to have a more metal one because it will rip versus time, so it's not very a good tools. Okay, prefer a metal one. I received 2 in my pocket maybe. So we return now to the car itself. So very beautiful. Okay, it's something like 45 centimeters long, so it starts to be a large model. It's quite light. If I can scale it, I hope my scale will be enough to scale this car without the batteries. I will use this box as star. Okay, and it's scale something like, oops, it's over 1 kilo. So sorry, I can measure. It's over 1 kilos, but it should be 1 kilo one, something like this, without the batteries. So basically, as I said, it's the same, exactly the same chassis that the L59. 959, sorry. So you will find some basic shock absorber, you know. So well, the main drawback of this car, I can say immediately, the springs of the shock absorber are so weak. Look, I just for the car, you can hear that the bottom part are touching the ground, so it's not very good. You need to strengthen the spring. You have to mod it to replace them in case. So a simple mode will be to insert some zip ties here. Okay, you can just use some zip ties, and you install the zip tie here, and you will reduce the elevations of the springs, and you will strengthen your spring. You can do also as well at the background. You can also play with the spring position, but here they are the maximum to maximize the ground clearance, so you cannot do anything on front at least. On the rear part, they are also at the maximum position, so you cannot play with it. So except if you install some zip there, or the best thing maybe is to change with some better model shock absorber. This is basic 20G model. They are much more, the spring is much more harder, so it will avoid this oscillation of the car. Anyway, this car is, well, the shock system is too weak, you know. It's you feel to be in a kind of permanent movement, you know, so it's not very acceptable if you want to have a perfect performance, especially outdoors and off-road. So you will find at the L959 the same 390 motors, 390 type of motors. The novelty here, they install a kind of protection cap here. It's good to avoid to attract some dust, etc. So this is good point. You have also the fan there installed on top. It's not covering all the surfaces of the motors, but at least there is one. So well, since it's brushed editions, of course each time you are starting with the new toys with brushed motors, with such type of big motors, I strongly advise to perform the braking procedure, so at least to turn the motors at very low throttle during 5-6 minutes, at very low during this time, and after to clean by, for example, to clean with the spray cleaner here, and to remove the extra brush residues. Okay, so it's a good point if you, for the first time you are using it, to not abuse at full throttle speed immediately. So, well, you will see that the system to access to the main interior part is nice, it's clever. So you have to remove the clips there. Okay, 2 rear and 2 front. It's very easy. So you remove the plastic cap here, and after you just have to to open like this, like a box. So, and here every owners of the L959 sorry, will recognize the chassis. So you have the steering part here, okay. All elements are in plastic. From every arm transmissions, every arms are in plastic. No metal in the in basic editions. You have here the 3-in-1 board. So the radio part, the ESC, and the main core unit are located there. It's waterproofed, so they had they installed some kind of resin kind of paste to be waterproofed. Okay, you can find the MOSFET here for the power unit. So to well, they seems to be strong enough for the 2S LiPo. Okay, some user I know try to play in 3S. Okay, I don't advise. Okay, because it's probably too much for the MOSFET. But maybe if you use some diode, 2 diode in series, you can maybe install a 3S LiPo, but not above 10.4 volts. It should be okay. Should be okay, and you will increase the top speed probably close to 50 km/h. So you can find the connection there. Okay, the motor connection there, and the basic 390 type motors. So all the stuff, all the elements of the plastics are exactly the same than the L959. Okay, so no, for example, no metal dogs bone there. It's everything in plastic. The chassis in plastic. Wow. For me, the bottom part is okay. It's quite to be durable. For me, the weakest point should be here. Okay, here. Because you can feel immediately that it's already flexible. So imagine a frontal shocks. It will probably break this part, and your canopy installation system will break. So for me, this is the weakest part of this new type of canopy installation. So this will re-show again. This part for me is the weakest part. You can feel that it will break in moderate to hard frontal shocks. Okay, so well, also I think the bottom part of the canopy is okay. You should maybe cover with a little plate of metal, maybe to reinforce the structure. Okay, so I'm a little bit skeptical about durability in case of frontal shocks of this car, but you have to be aware. But the good news, you will need only to unscrew 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 and 6 screws to replace this frontal bump. Okay, so maybe this is the only good news concerning this frontal part. Well, I will reassemble the structure, the canopy structure. Okay. Okay. So I will reassemble it, reinstall the top clips like this, and okay, like this. Okay, 1, 2, and the last 2, so it's very easy to clip. So all the rear wheel is a fake one, of course. Well, one word concerning the wheel, they are also not fantastic. They are more or less the same that the L959. They are very weak. I don't think there are any foam installed inside. So I took the L959 wheel, exactly more or less the same that the front. Okay, so it's a very soft wheel. So it's good to basic off-road or but on the macadam, on the, you will use a lot of this type of wheels and tires. Maybe you would prefer, at least for the rear part, this kind of wheel, much better. The handle, and it will grab the road, and much better, and they're much more durable. Advice. So also one point, on the rear wheel you have some X screw installed, but only on the rear there are 12 millimeters X screw, but on front they are not. It's two, there is no X screw system, hexagons. It's two balls, oil bearings. So exactly as I mentioned, it's written on this list of spare parts. They are here. They are 5 millimeters for inner diameters by 9 for outers, and 3 ways. So if you want to decrease the friction on the front wheel, you have to install rear ball bearing instead. Okay, it's very basic, but you have to. So so 2 basic mods to change the ball bearing in front for the front rear, and to mod the strength of the basic shock absorber to avoid this very soft. They are too soft, in my point of view. Okay, so I think I ended this small unboxing and quick testings. The range is good, more than 100 meters. Personally, in the former model, I mode the remote, and I was able to have more than 150 meters and install a small FPV camera on it. It would have been very great if they installed some real LEDs here, but probably you can mode it to install some. You can access to a free port to retrieve the voltage and current. I think it's possible. So to conclude, if you don't own the L959 car, it's a nice model because it's a fast car. First of all, it's a very fast car. It can handle well first off-road, basic off-road condition in the ground, or when you don't have a lot of the granularity of the ground is not too pronounced. Be aware that the shock, you will wrap a lot, you will scratch a lot your bottom part because the shock absorber are not so strong. Okay, it's handled well the road. It's the steering are okay. The top speed is nice. The control range also. It's a nice entry model. It's announced to be close to $110. In my point of view, it's a little bit too expensive for a brushed model. When I bought my first L959, it was close to $70, and basically it's more or less the same model. So it should be maybe $20 less now. Okay, the canopy is much more beautiful, and it's a beautiful car for sure. The design is nice, but everything in plastic, the metal, the spur, the metal gear, the differential gear, everything is in plastic. They are durable, but it's not. There is no metal element or carbon one. So for $110, it's maybe a little bit too much. Okay, so this is also maybe the third con point about concerning the price. Anyway, it's a very beautiful object. I like it a lot, and you will see how it's handled, how good is this car on off-road condition in my outdoor video. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please send it. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Bye bye.